So you're looking to get faster, right? And you've been absolutely grinding, man. You've been contributing to that aerobic 401k every single week. It's absolutely maxed out. And you have been doing everything that you can to build up that blood volume. You've been running, you've been cross-training, you've been blood doping, you've been making babies, whatever, it all counts. And so far, you've not had a good return on your investment, man. What the hell? Well, it's my professional opinion that you, sir, need to get back in the gym and get after it. Morning, freaks. It's Wednesday. It is actually my 4th double threshold day in a row, obviously alternating between threshold and easy days. And I won't say that I'm getting fit, but there will be signs. And the sign is that my resting heart rate is now 37. What the fuck? But today is all about strength training. I know that strength training is really important for my own running, but I want to hear from you guys in the comments below in the Peak Stride running forum, what you do for strength training, how much you do, what exercises, how often, just anything related to strength training. Please let me know in the comments below. Because in my opinion, there's 2 methods that you can do for strength training to get faster and also get more resilient in your own body so you don't get bloody injured all the damn time like me. Number 1 is what I call the lazy method. And number 2 is what I call the deluxe strength training routine. That's copywritten, by the way. You know what I just realized? We've not had a door chat at the front door in like weeks. Also, how good's Brad? So on the weekend, I did my first ever podcast with Benjamin Kelly. I'll leave the link in the description. We talk an absolute load of shit, but that's what everyone wants to hear, so go check it out. And that's about it for the door chat. There you go. Okay, the most important method of getting strong for running is, of course, the lazy method. The method that takes like 15 minutes out of your day that you can do a couple of times a week pretty easily without having to go to some dumbass gym or anything like that or any fancy equipment. All you need is a backpack like this that has some weight in it. You know, you can get a bag of rice, or you can get like some cans, or you can get weights and put it in your bag, or you could just use the weights themselves if you have weights. Luckily for me, I bought weights during COVID. Fuck yeah. And really, all it comes down to is 3 pretty easy exercises. You know, I don't try to complicate it with the lazy method because you won't do it because you're lazy. Exercise number 1, the split squat. It's like a lunge, except some people call it a split squat. I'm calling it a split squat because a lunge to me sounds like you're moving, like a forward lunge, like you're going forward and then forward again and forward again. A split squat sounds like you're doing it stationary, and that's what we're aiming for here. We're trying to get a bit of separation in the legs, you know, load these hips up in a way that's more specific to running. Now, we could do single leg squat, and that is absolutely fine to actually do instead of a split squat. I tend to like split squat a little bit more right now because there's literally no reason why. Sometimes I do single leg squats, sometimes I do split squat. Now the idea is that you want to be as stretched as possible without actually tilting your hips forward. If you have to tilt your hips forward to get back, it's probably a little bit too far to have your legs spread apart during the split squat exercise. Now the next exercise is a single leg bridge. It's super easy. You literally just lie on your back, right? You put one leg in the air so you're only on one leg. Now you put all of your weight through your heel and then you push yourself up until your hips are fully extended, like you're going balls in. You do that, okay? and then you just swap and you do it on the other leg. Pretty straightforward. Now, the more that you stretch out your leg further away from your body, the more specific it's going to be for running, because that's essentially what happens with your hamstrings when you hit the ground in initial contact. You load them up in that really stretched out foot leg position. You don't load up your hamstring when it's already kind of like up towards your bum like this. You do it out that way. Let's go find a step. Now, the last one in the lazy strength training method is just a straight up single leg calf raise. Find some sort of step or some sort of incline like this that you can put your foot on and allow your heel to come all the way under. So you're really stretching that foot and then you go all the way up like a ballerina. Super easy stuff. Single leg is the way to go. If you can't do single leg for some sort of reason, that's perfectly fine. Just work your way up into it. Start with double leg, go all the way down, all the way back up. That's what's most important. You're trying to get that full calf stretch, get that calf strong AF, and you're going to run much, much faster. If all the tissues in your calf are really strong, you're going to run really fast. Now, the expansion pack super deluxe strength training model is pretty simple. All you have to do is the starter pack, just the lazy, easy stuff, plus anything else that is going to be slowing you down in the future. Things that have been previous injuries, things that have been previous niggles and tightnesses and ranges of motion that are like not as far as others, and asymmetries and all that kind of stuff. And I'm going to show you with every single joint in the body that is relevant to running, and also obviously the muscles involved in moving those joints, how to actually improve the strength in them right now. So obviously, single leg balance is very important. So all you do is you stand on an uneven surface that's kind of difficult and challenging to actually balance on, okay? You stand on one leg, you go into a slight little squat, and as you're doing these slight little squats, you're going to touch out in front, touch out to the side, touch out this way, and touch behind. And if you're really tricky with it, what you can actually do is close your eyes. You have to build up all of these little strengthening muscles around the ankle so that you're really good at adjusting and things like that on uneven surfaces when you're out running. Okay, that's going to cause an injury at some point. You're going to roll your ankle down some sort of ditch or a puddle or a curb or something, and it's going to be absolutely horrible because you've never done anything to actually improve the strength of your ankle. Like, have you ever used one of these things, resistance bands? No. Please explain to me why you've never used one of these. Like, it's super simple stuff, okay? All you do is you put it on the ankle itself, and for this exercise, you go this way, This is one of the directions the ankle can move, right? The next one that you can do is straight out this way, pulling up, okay? And the next one you can do after that is pulling out. If you're strong through every single range of motion with your ankle, you literally have nothing to worry about. But like I said, it might take a little bit longer in this deluxe package than 15 minutes, like with the 3 basic starter pack exercises. Now, the next exercises are going to be for the knees. Now, we're already doing hamstring stuff, and we're already doing quad stuff, and we're already doing calf stuff, which is very, very good. That's going to give us a lot of knee stability. But what we can also do is add in a little bit of extra things at extreme ranges of motion and an extreme strength stuff so that you can cover all of your bases. And number one, I really like this one, and I've been using this one quite a lot. It's called a Nordic. Actually, no, it's called a reverse Nordic. Essentially, you take your ankle weights. I don't know, I didn't really use them for my ankle, did I? All you do is hold them on your chest, and then we're going to go back, trying to not move the hips too much, and then pull back up. Super simple. The reason why I like this is because if you have any patella tendon issues, this can be a really good progression exercise after doing the standard rehab stuff like the, wall sits, single leg squats, things like that. This is a good way to really get that tendon feeling strong. And if you don't have any tendon issues right now, it's a good way to make sure that you don't get any tendon issues. All right, let's move on to the hips with our ankle weights, okay? This is quite possibly the most undertrained area of the human body for runners. All we're gonna do is bring both legs in the air like this, take one leg out straight, go down on the floor, and then back up to the roof. Now I have 5 kilos and it's pretty hard. Maybe you can only do, I don't know, a kilo or 2 or none, doesn't really matter. The important thing is that we're strengthening up this muscle. Okay, next one, you're gonna need a band like this. And we're gonna put this around our knees, actually just above our knees. We're gonna go on all fours like this, okay? This is a pure volume glute burner. We're gonna work on the hip abduction and we're gonna work on the hip extension at the same time. But we're not gonna do so much that the core exercises that we do next are gonna crash and fail, okay? So all we do is out to the side, 10 times, and then up to the roof. This is really, really easy, but it gives you a really good bum workout, which is very important. You know, glutes are very strong in propelling runners down the road. Now, the next exercise, you know, is the good old-fashioned plank, but with a twist. That's not the twist. The twist is that we're going to alternate our legs in the air every couple of seconds, okay? We're going to load up these hips in a really strange way where only one side is loaded and the other side is unloaded. Pretty much how running is. So it's kind of more specific of a strength exercise for your core than normal planks. Makes sense? Super easy. The next one that we're going to do is for the core on the side. We're going to go up and then we're going to lift one leg into the air and I'm slipping on this carpet. This not only does the core, but also the hips, okay? What I'm doing is I'm holding myself in the air with this hip muscle and I'm using the other hip muscle to lift up in the air. Pretty good exercise. So there's all of the exercises that I can think of in a lazy, easy, fast way and also a lengthened out, you know, you got a bit more time way too. That means that you have no excuses but to get some strength training done. Now, 1 to 2 times a week is pretty good. What I also think is really valuable is doing 1 or 2 sessions of just pure strength work where you're trying to build your strength, and then 1 session where you focus specifically on your strength and mobility in certain areas where you're kind of bad at it. I think that's really good strategy to do. If you're injured, you can swap it around and do 2 specific days and 1 strength day. That's also really valuable. Now I'm aiming for rep ranges, you know, in the bigger ones with the weights and stuff around the 3 to 5 rep range because that seems to get the most amount of strength. And then all the accessory movements, I tend to focus more on volume because we're trying to build up those muscles as much as we can rather than trying to get them as unbelievably strong as possible. The idea behind that is that prevention is the main driver or the main reason why we're doing those rather than trying to run faster. Does that make sense? If you guys have any questions about this, let me know in the comments below and I'll see you guys on the weekend. I'm gonna go and do another threshold session on the elliptical. Let's go. See you guys later. 17, 15 in 10 weeks, I think. Let's try it. Let's go.